Hi guys, Martin here with another roundup of all the latest racing game news straight from the Team VVV website. Time to dust off your copy of Gran Turismo 6 because it's having a new content overload this month. First up, we have the arrival of the new BMW Vision GT this week as part of the latest update, BMW's contribution to Polyphony's concept car catalogue. It follows Mercedes' effort a few months ago and has been deliberately designed to look like one of BMW's touring cars from the 1970s. It sports many futuristic touches, such as its extensive use of carbon fibre and front and rear aero items to help cornering speeds. It's powered by a 3-litre twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine and has 541 brake horsepower, so it should be a very spirited driving GT6 indeed. Be sure to let us know how you're getting on with it in the comments below. I think it's fair to say that Polyphony's post-DLC support for Gran Turismo 5 left a lot to be desired, but the same certainly can be said for Gran Turismo 6, as this isn't the only new content coming this month. It was revealed a few months ago that Polyphony will be paying tribute to the late legendary driver Ayrton Senna, but we now know the exact release date of when we can expect this content. The Senna Tribute Update, as it's being called, will be out in just 2 weeks on May 27th, where you'll be able to drive the famous Lotus 97T F1 and also Senna's DAP racing kart. Additional Senna-themed challenges tasking you to beat his pole position lap times around Monza and Brands Hatch will also be available. Elsewhere, Drive Club continues to steer itself into controversy, with the revelation that it will feature the dreaded M word. Yes, I'm talking of course about microtransactions. Fortunately, it's not quite as bad as it sounds, as you won't be able to use them to purchase in-game money like in Forza 5, but you will be able to use them to unlock cars quicker. In fact, the game director describes it as merely a shortcut. Prices have yet to be revealed, so time will only tell if it will be another Forza Motorsport 5 scale disaster, where you have to pay £60 for a digital race car. In other Drive Club news, a series of video trailers have been released detailing exactly how the club's face-offs and challenges work in-game. You can watch them all on the site in the link below. We've seen plenty of MotoGP 14 screenshots since its announcement a couple of months ago, and yet none of them have shown any actual bikes, despite it being, a bike racing game. Or at least that was until now, because these later screenshots finally show off MotoGP 14's next generation bike models in all their glory. And the extra detail is very plain to see. Monster has also explained how they have utilised a new post-processing engine called Yebis 2, the same engine that powered a Final Fantasy tech demo a couple of years ago, to enhance the visual effects as outlined in these comparisons. You can view all the screenshots in the link below. Now, if there's one thing Codemasters do well, it's car damage, and Grid Autosport will certainly be no exception. The community blog has outlined how the already extensive damage modelling in Grid 2 has been upgraded in Grid Autosport. Car components will now gradually degrade and lose performance over time to simulate wear and tear, and you'll now be able to cause tyre blowouts in addition to ruining the drivetrain and bodywork in violent collisions. Hopefully I won't be the only one testing this out by deliberately driving the wrong way during races. Meanwhile, touring cars was one of the most requested features to be brought back into Grid. After all, Codemasters were made famous by the original British touring car game series, and there's certainly plenty of them in Grid Autosport. There'll be 16 all in all, including the return of the BTCC, in the form of the Honda Civic and Ford Focus ST, along with other classics such as the Ford Sierra Cosworth. A full list can be found on the site in the link below. Time for a Project Cars update. This time, Slightly Mad Studios has turned its attentions to the single-player component, which can be experienced in a number of different ways. For example, should you wish to focus on single-seaters, you'll be able to work your way up in the rookie tiers or jump straight into the modern open-wheel race cars. As with most games, there will also be a quick race option where you can configure options such as the number of laps, time of day and weather options. There will also be a free practice mode, allowing you to race with any car or track without the added pressure of a full race or qualifying session. In fact, it's so free of restrictions there are no penalties in play at all, so think of it more like an open track day rather than a traditional time trial. Over in Assetto Corsa, however, the focus was firmly on the new multiplayer mode, which has finally been added in the latest update after its long delay. It's available right now for all cars and tracks, but it's still at an alpha development stage, so it's still far from complete. Last week, you may remember we revealed 2 new pricey wheel rims from Fanatec for the Club Sport wheel. Well, there's now been 2 new ones. Here we have the oval rim, which resembles a stock car racing wheel, to the point it's exactly the same size as a real one. Its most unique feature though is probably its encoder button, which lets you assign up to 7 different functions. Then we have the round 1 wheel rim, which resembles a smaller GT style rim. It's got lots of luxurious leather and an almost overwhelming number of buttons on it. As for the price, well, once again they don't exactly come cheap. Like the other rims we announced last week, they cost €349 a piece, which is astronomical when you consider that the actual wheelbase is sold separately. Browser-based PC racer Auto Club Revolution is getting a major overhaul next month. It's so radical they're actually starting a closed beta for it on June 16th. It's getting a complete revamp with many tweaks to existing features, additional cars from Subaru, Alfa Romeo, Maserati and Roof, along with enhanced visuals and physics. Also, the engine sounds are being rebuilt from the ground up, and there's even talks of Oculus Rift support later down the line, which was probably heavily influenced by Project Cars. For many years, people have been crying out for an authentic rally game simulation on a par with the highly regarded Richard Burns Rally. With this in mind, G-Rally could be exactly what you're looking for. It's been idling in the background for several years now, but a new website launch with accompanying screenshots and a trailer show its development is still going strong. It's being developed by a former modder of Richard Burns Rally and promises to have one of the most accurate driving dynamics in a rally game scene yet. This isn't WRC though, so expect to see mostly classic rally cars from the era. So far we've seen the Lancia Stratos and the Fiat 131 Abarth, which have been confirmed so far, although there will also be mod support. No other details have been disclosed for now, but rest assured we'll be keeping a close eye on it for you. That's it for now though. I'll be back next time with another roundup. As always, you can visit teamvvv.com for all the latest racing game news, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.